Chairperson Enniscorthy Municipal Council, Minister James Brown, Deputy Keogh, and councillors and people in Enniscorthy. Thank you very much for your kind invitation to be with you today on this very poignant occasion.
Thank you.
I'd like to say a few words about
You want to do that when Mummy says okay?
former teacher Sean Lemass.
No. Do you know when it is?
Exactly 100 years ago.
Yes.
So, Sean Lemass was a young
So we
volunteer
have
with
to,
the GPO.
in this day and age,
He was active in the subsequent War of Independence and went on to refer to participate in the Civil War on the Anti-Treaty I.R.A. side as a member of the Four Courts Garrison.
Listen to your mommy and daddy.
After the Battle
Your mommy and daddy know first.
part of the Eastern Command of the I.R.A. under Divisional Commander Pat Fleming, he took part in the Battle of Enniscorthy. Lemass, like many others, rarely spoke about his activities during this period. We know from various biographies and other historical accounts that others involved at Enniscorthy were Tom Derrick, Francis McCarthy, Ernie O'Mahony, and Paddy O'Brien. The aim was to ambush the Free State troops in Enniscorthy Castle. Again, as we've heard, the offensive was a failure for the anti-treaty side, and the I.R.A. party was ultimately successfully ambushed by Free State troops. After that, Lemass and others returned to Dublin, evading capture and once again involved in Belfast along the way. His friend and comrade, Paddy O'Brien, died as a result of the injuries he received in Enniscorthy, and it is said that his death affected Lemass greatly. And again, I too would like to welcome the grandniece of Patrick O'Brien, Orla McKeown, and the nephew Colin O'Brien, another member of the O'Brien family. This must indeed be a truly poignant occasion for you, and I'm delighted to see you here this morning. It is also recorded that Pat Fleming at one stage pulled Lemass out of the firing line in Enniscorthy, thus saving his life, resulting in a strong loyalty and friendship between the Lemass and Fleming families, continuing up to the present day. And I think of Deputy Minister Sean Fleming, TD for Laois Offaly. The Civil War, as we know, left Irish society deeply divided and embittered for generations. It divided country, communities, and families. 100 years later, we can of course be more reflective about these events, understand the diverse views, and appreciate in good faith the position taken by both sides in the conflict. History is never black and white, and the legacy of the Civil War can be complex, particularly when it comes to families. A clear example of this is evident when it comes to my own family history. My parental grandfather, Commandant John Haughey, fought in the War of Independence in Derry. After the war, he came south to the Curragh in County Kildare for army training. Like his fellow comrades in the Northern Division, he remained loyal to Michael Collins and became an officer in the new Irish Army. Sean Lemass quickly moved on from the Civil War and went on to play his part in the building of modern Ireland. He was very clear that he did not want to refight the Civil War. When asked about Civil War atrocities in later life, he simply stated that terrible things were done on both sides. He was referring in particular to the brutal murder of his older brother, Noel Lemass. In 1923, after the Civil War had officially ended, Noel Lemass was abducted and held captive for 4 months. His mutilated body was found in the Dublin Mountains on October 13th, 1923. It is said that Lemass knew who murdered his brother, and that he subsequently went on to work with them in government. I think this showed his true character of the man, and can serve as an example to be followed by others as a way of dealing with the legacy issues arising from the Civil War, and indeed other subsequent legacy issues. 100 years on, the process of healing and reconciliation following the Civil War is now surely coming to a conclusion. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude my remarks by reciting the first verse of a poem by Harry Clifton entitled The Winter Sleep of Captain Noah Lemass. Clifton, in his poem, reflects on the loss of life and the sadness caused by the Civil War, and the first verse is centred on the year 1923. So here goes. The life of the country hardened against you, like frost, and a new front opened, brother against brother, choice against choice, disputing the high ground. Your eyes blindfolded beheld the ideal state as the real one steadied itself to annihilate you. How to survive it, the force of exclusion, the freezing out of the soul, at the sight of its own execution. In the high cold, in the light snow of the Dublin mountains, a fox made its own tracks and vanished. A single shot, 100 years of travelling echoes, family history, unmarked plots. For a breather again.